right, let's get right into it. All right, so today we have a very special guest, someone we've been working with for a couple months now, longer than a couple months. We got Kyree, the founder and manager of Centric Gaming. It was founded in about October of 2020. That's when they first went live. So we appreciate you jumping on, Kyree. So how's everything going with yourself?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm just happy to be a part. When y'all told me I was able to, talk to everybody on CarterPulse, I'm excited. Y'all was one of the first few guys I actually worked with within the scene when we was jumping back into it.
Right.
I'm doing good though. I'm excited, and I'm ready to take on all the questions or whatever y'all gotta ask.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing we always ask is, how'd you get into esports? Why'd you choose esports as the path you wanted to go?
Yeah, I know everybody got a different story. I know esports is like one of the hardest things to ever get into. I know so many kids that want to do it. But the way I was like really brought into it, I wanted to become a competitive Call of Duty player. Obviously back in like I think it was around when I was like 16, I was playing like Black Ops 3 and IW. I was trying to go competitive, but I knew that I wasn't really that good till like I played like game battles, and then I played game battles and got smoked for like
Yeah,
at least a 6 month period. And then I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm probably not good at this. Maybe starting a team. So I used to watch a lot of Optic. Me and my friends in high school, we used to watch like literally like every land, like every match of Optic we would watch together. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'm good at probably managing a team or like founding a team or something. And then, you know, that came about, Centric, and the name and everything.
yeah. So that kind of leapfrogged into my next question. I was gonna ask like if you wanted to become a pro player. So you obviously did, and you've been trying to manage organizations, and then Centric popped off. But before Centric, how many organizations were you involved with? Like, have you been floating around or like doing this for a while, or do you like everyone else back in the day on MW2? We all had our clans, something like that. So
No, it was only Centric, which is surprising. I never actually been a part of another organization. Um, Before Centric, it really only been Centric, which is surprising. I know so many people have been jumping from different orgs,
yeah.
but this has been my only home, Centric Gaming. So it's the only team I've really been a part of. So which is cool. I haven't really jumped with any other team yet or had the opportunity to.
Right. Um, so you guys obviously focus on Fortnite. So what
Yeah.
what made you want to really go in on Fortnite when you first started Centric? We'll jump into
Well,
how you started Centric, but I just want to ask why Fortnite. If it's the obvious answer that it was the biggest at the time, but I'm curious to what your thought process was.
Well, Fortnite was really big around like that World Cup period and stuff, and even after with the FNCSs and everything. But what really got into me, I kept playing the game like Fortnite consistently, 8 hours a day with my friends. Um, and I just knew like I just really like watching Fortnite, which is weird. Even to this day, I still like watching Fortnite. Some games you just don't like watching after a period of time you playing it over and over. And I just consistently kept playing, and me and Dion played. Dion really was the one that really got me in Fortnite. Like we would play from literally till like 12 a.m. and imagine that midnight all the way to the morning. Like legit just grinded Fortnite, which is weird though, because most people would think like you can't play Fortnite that long, but we was playing like pro player hours basically, like all day Fortnite. Like that's all we cared about. I come home from college class, hop right on Fortnite and play, and I wasn't even that good. I just enjoyed it so much that I wanted to play it. So,
Hmm. So
and that
yeah.
was
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
no, go ahead, you good, you
I
good.
was just gonna say you brought it up, so I gotta ask, what's your connection with Dion Waiters? How'd you get that going?
Well, we played. So we were really close back in I guess when he was on the Cavaliers, I was good friends with Meek Mill back
Hmm.
then. So he used to play GTA a lot, me and him and Meek. So we all played together like in the on Xbox before I transferred over to PC. And we really just grew like a relationship like off the game, like heavy, and like we played a lot, and we all wanted to do something. Well, he wanted to do something in esports, which is crazy. I told him about Centric and stuff. He was really interested in it. And then we watched the World Cup together with Booga, and we seen like how that popped off, and we was still
Hmm.
playing Fortnite even to that day, and like it grew from that. Like our friendship grew more than just the game.
Yeah, it just made sense. And I talked about this before you jumped on, like when so Centric, you guys had Gelty when we first started, and I just remember that because we were helping you out with that, and you guys literally went from 100 followers to 10K in like the first like 4 hours. That it was the craziest thing. It took CarterPulse probably a year and a half to get 10K. So
Yeah,
like
I
what
know.
what what was that like to just like almost like instant gratification? Like, all right, this is probably gonna work out, you know?
Yeah, no, when it happened, I mean, I was shocked myself. I didn't know like any of that was gonna happen. I was just happy with the support and everybody that was, really supporting the team. We had Jelty, ADN, Kylie, and I remember and Knight as well. They were all like super like they all great players in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when it shot up like that, they were all excited. Like every single player, I remember they was all chatting about it. They was all excited about
Yeah,
it, and the team and everything and everybody. And I love every player that ever stepped onto the organization. I love every player. So
yeah,
it was crazy though. I ain't gonna lie. That first day was crazy.
yeah. No, it was awesome to see, especially like when new orgs pop up. It's just so awesome to see this, the instant success, you know. So yeah. Um, yeah. So as we keep going, so how where did you said you've been around for a while or you've been playing for a while? So where'd you get the name Centric Gaming? Where'd that come about?
Centric it was weird. It's hard to explain. Like it was just something. I used to have an old name, but it was like it was a corny old name. I don't even want to say it on
Nah,
stream.
you gotta say it. What's your
You
OG?
got
Yeah, you
what
got
The
is
it,
it?
old no, it's a bad OG name though. Y'all like, wow, he
dude. My
really was like
my OG. I mean, I know I'm from Philly, but ready. My OG name was Steelers fan 8848. There you go. I'll give you
There
that.
you go.
So there you
the
go. Now,
OG org name from Centric
oh, the
before
OG
Centric. I
org
don't even want.
name. That's
Oh, you don't even want to hear it. This one
I
is.
gotta hear it.
I mean, it's crazy. It was. I'm gonna tell y'all just because
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah,
drug money.
there you go.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
listening. That was. It was crazy. That's why I didn't want to say it. It was crazy. But it was from GTA. It stemmed from GTA. That's
Yeah,
Oh
why I was
yeah.
that name. Okay, so that's. But I wanted to take it for more of a like approach of worldwide. So.
Hmm.
That's
had
why
to
I had to
switch it
change the
up. Yeah,
name. Yeah, definitely had to switch it up because that was a crazy name.
yeah.
But yeah, I was super in GTA back then, so we made our own little group and stuff, and
Hell
that was
yeah.
the name. It was definitely a crazy name, but Centric, it just I don't know. I always thought about this. It's weird because I always thought about the center, and then I don't know. I just Centric like randomly probably just looking up words and
hmm
Centric, and like
Yeah.
everybody
It
tell me to this
flows.
day, like even my friends, they be like Centric is like a good name. Like I could really
Yeah.
It
connect to
is.
that name, and just went from that. And then all my friends like it. All my friends still support me to this day. Like
Hell
the
yeah.
Nice.
ones I grew up with in high school, I'm like 22, and they
hmm
still support me like years later, and it's crazy.
So you know what's funny about you saying you're 22? Everyone we've had on the podcast has been in like the 20 to 24-year-old range. Like it's
Yep.
just so awesome to see like everyone growing up like on these games from basically stemming from Call of Duty. Like we all had that common interest and we saw something in esports that no one else saw. So I mean, I just had to say that because you mentioned that, but it's just so crazy. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty young,
yeah,
surprisingly.
exactly. Nah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we had one question from chat, or I guess two. So someone wanted to ask when you and Dion were playing, did you guys ever get any earnings? Any earnings from
Oh,
Fort?
no, no, no,
Nah,
no, no. I
nothing.
mean, we was never invited to a tournament. Like if we was invited, like I know I seen a lot of like Twitch rival tournaments. If we were invited, or if he was invited, he would play.
hmm
He just would need the invite. Like he would be super down to play. That's
Yeah,
something he always wanted to play. Like little tournaments like that. We definitely though. I not yet. Though. I would love to play with him in like a tournament setting.
yeah, that would be awesome. And then the second question was about so obviously you're heavy into Fortnite. Do you guys have any other plans to jump into other games or any other platforms?
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the things is, I mean, our socials have done really, really well. I think we do want to jump into games. Just depends on the timing.
hmm
Timing is everything in esports. So like, knowing what you get into, knowing what you invest in, and knowing everything about it before you hop into it is the most important thing. Doing your due diligence with everything.
hmm
So when the time is right, we definitely gonna jump into a different game.
Yeah, for sure. Connor, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask. So, two things. First of all, like with Call of Duty, you talking about game battles. What was your game? Like, when did you start playing COD, and what game did you start hitting up game battles?
All right, so I play game. Oh yeah, I'm surprised you knew it was game battle. Yeah, I play
Oh
game
yeah,
battles
I'm a huge
crazy.
game battles guy.
Yeah, I think it was probably BO3 for sure.
Yeah.
I played with my friends and then we played IW a little bit. We were horrible. Our records probably was like 5 and
Hey,
25.
Oh man, I've been there. I started playing game battles in high school, and we got like the school team together before there was like official school teams, and we had like rotating 7 guys so everybody could play, running our own eights and everything. And we get to game battles, our records 6-42, man. But once we get those wins, hyped as hell. It was so exciting, man.
No, the wins definitely was lit. Like, cause then you
Oh
acting
yeah.
like you making progress, but then
Oh
you realize
yeah.
you look at other teams and they are like 50-1 and stuff. I'm like, I ain't got it like that no more, man.
Yeah, no, I get you. And then with GTA, did you guys ever make it over to like RP or role playing any of that stuff? I've
No,
never
it's
gotten
something
into
that I
that.
actually want to do, but I don't know anybody who can make it like a RP lobby. We would want to own one, but yeah, I want to
Yeah,
do RP. People been telling me that
it's
it's
good
really lit.
content. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
so
good
I really want to
content.
do it. I want to do it. I really want to do it.
I
I'm
mean,
down to do
yeah. I
it.
mean, look, dude. Look at all those. Dude, you got your connections. If you're still boys with Meek, I'm sure he knows T Grizzly. T Grizzly had that running, so like that stuff
Yeah.
was crazy. So I mean, who knows? I mean, that dude, GTA 5, like for how old that game is, I don't know how it
Oh yeah.
stays relevant year in and year out. It's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy. It's so crazy.
I was just
Yeah.
talking to my buddies about that last night because we were playing, and I'm like, this is like the only game that I can think of that's like is as old as 360. Came out then. I was 13 when that game came out, and
Yo,
it's
fact.
still going. We're still
Yeah.
playing it like it's a new game. They keep adding new stuff in the RP. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Like RP, like I didn't even know any. Like when I got a PC, I didn't even know anything about GTA RP till it really was T Grizzly that really introduced me to it. Like when I was watching the stream,
Yeah.
and it was really dope. I'm like, I really gotta get into this. Like this look fire,
Mhm.
and it just looked. Everybody was in the Anthony Davis. There was so
Yeah.
many people to
Everyone.
play it, and so many
Yeah.
rappers and stuff. I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
Because
Like
that's
how
when,
much.
because that's when Aiden Ross switched over from 2K to GTA, and then that's kind of, I mean, he was already popping off because of with Bronny and all that, but like just in general, like GTA really helped him jump to the next level, and now he's obviously doing IRL. But like, I mean, at the time, like GTA was just going crazy. It still is.
No, yeah, GTA is so crazy, and it's been years since they released a new game or any. Like they release updates, but like they need to like
I don't
GTA
even. Yeah,
6.
it's a good question. I don't even know when they're going to even consider like releasing it. Because think about it, there's still people are still buying whatever their credit is, like $100 credits all the time on that store. Like, why even release a new game? Like, you're still making millions off that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's crazy. Yeah. So Connor, you got another question for him?
Um, kind of going off that, like, what's your opinions of Fortnite currently? We've had this conversation with not last week, but the two prior. We were talking about Fortnite a bit in depth and how the meta itself is changing and it's turning into, it kind of seems like a different game. We've had that talk with, me, Jack, and a couple other people. We kind of got into it in college, started playing with our friends. It was super sweet that it was cross-platform, but somewhere along the lines it started changing. A lot of people started getting out of it, and it's still a great game and it's doing really well. How do you feel about it now compared to like the OG Fortnite days when everybody was doing it, and Ninja and Tifu, everybody was blowing up and all that? It's a different space now. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I still got a good feeling about it. I definitely think they got more of a system in place for people to actually try to like for competitive. They done a really good job from like the World Cup until now. Like with the system they got in place, like you know what you got to do to qualify for the big tournaments now.
Yeah.
Everything is really more simple. I feel as though like they definitely got to add more things in with like org related stuff into the Fortnite game, like skins and stuff. I feel like skins and like all types of stuff like that would be really dope and help like involve the game even more than what it is
Hmm.
and help organizations out in the the long haul define that revenue stream within Fortnite if they already invested into the game. But back then in the OG Fortnite days, they were just giving out money and play people just got really
Dude.
known off it. I feel like Fortnite really dialed down from that and like just stopped giving and start dissecting it in certain pieces. Like FNCS
Hmm.
is like such a big thing. Then you got your dream hacks. Every tournament is dissected in like one way or another, and like you know what you got to do to get into that tournament or qualify. So I feel like it's definitely in the right direction, and they listen more too. They listen way more. They respond more, and everything. So
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Like, I feel like at the time, like when Fortnite just went crazy and gave everyone these platforms, like it was just like a weird time, and they didn't even know what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like it was they had the biggest game in the world, and they were like, oh my god, let's just throw money at it and just keep this train rolling. But like
Yeah.
now that it all kind of like settled in, I agree with you. Like they kind of like, all right, let's transition this into like a real esports like game. Like let's, because I mean, think about it. Like League of Legends, like it's not really like, I mean, unless you like played it back then, but it's not really like a casual game anymore. Like it was very like back in the day, like my friends used to play all the time, but it's the same thing. It transitioned into like a, everyone just gets really good at the game, and then it's like if you're
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? If you're not playing it all the time, then it's like it's gonna be tough for you, you know. But but yeah, it's definitely interesting to see where it's headed in that direction.
Yeah, that's definitely true. League of Legends definitely it takes a different type of it take a lot of work to be good at that game. I don't
Yeah.
understand a
Oh
single
yeah,
thing on that game until this day. So
No, I just know. I don't really know much. I can't even
it's
say
great.
anything.
Yeah, I I've put at least like 150 days into that game, and I'm awful, man. Nothing will piss me off more than that game because it's like in Call of Duty, it's great because you can single-handedly carry your team. You're dropping streaks, you're going hard, you can carry the game. But in League of Legends and games like that, when a teammate dies, they're giving the enemy team more money to beat
yeah,
the crap out of you, and so they make it harder for you to win. So you can go like 20-1 and have an amazing game. Your teammates are sitting at the other side of the map going 0-5, 0-10, and you lose. And it's like, what more do I have to do?
Yeah.
And some of the people in that game are quite toxic as well because everybody's just been in that toxic wasteland for too long, and they just one thing goes wrong, they're tilted off the map. It's a lot. I've put way too many days, hours in that game, and it's I love video games, but that's one of those ones where I'm not gonna be playing much anymore. I got out of silver. I finally got into gold after 10 years, and that's where I'm calling it. I'm just looking forward to the new games coming out. I think there's a couple great ones on the line. I'm super excited for Halo. It's gonna be good. New Call of Duty. Hopefully, it's good. Those games have been up and down the past couple of years, but I wanted to
yeah.
ask more about Centric. Do you have like one period of time or one event that you would say was like your proudest moment, or you look back on and have great memories of?
Definitely in January, Snag won DreamHack. That was definitely one of the proudest moments because like I actually almost cried because I was so happy that he actually won. It's like he was like it's crazy because he was like second place I think, and it was like going into the last game. He texted me he's like I'm going to win this, and then he did it. It's crazy because when you text somebody something before it
Yeah,
actually
Hmm.
happens, it's like wow, like but
calling
he
the
actually won
shot.
DreamHack, and then I was like super excited. But that was definitely the proudest moment. Just seeing the players like flourish in the
Hmm.
stage that they play in. Fortnite's a really hard game,
Yeah.
a lot of RNG based. So when you win something, then it's definitely take great pride in it.
Yeah. It means a lot. So one question from chat. It's actually from Kevin from CarterPulse. So he asked, "What's one thing about the esports community that you think needs to be improved or changed?"
Opportunity. I feel
Hmm.
like a lot of people need more opportunity to get into the scene. I know a lot of people want to get in it so bad. I feel as though like it need to be some type of like I don't know like path so people could try to get in that's newer or trying to learn about it. And maybe it stems from education. I know certain schools offer like an esports degree now, which is crazy. That wasn't even like a thing.
No.
Now they do.
Hmm.
So I think it's just helping people get into the scene and building their resume up and helping them trying to transfer more into like I guess regular sports into like actual esports.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to do that.
Like within the schooling system, you use that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really dope to see. Like we talked about this before a while ago, like because schools are now obviously you said this, but like they're giving out like scholarships now to go to school and stuff like that. So like to see that jump alone is just awesome to see. And then yeah, I mean if it gets I don't know if it is incorporated with the NCAA, but even if it was or wasn't, like it's still it's probably considered a club at this point. But
They
like
got I was about to touch on one thing. They do got the Call of Duty College League, I think, or something. I don't know if you ever watched it.
mm-mm.
It was a college league for Call of Duty, which is really cool. I never knew about it till like recently. I seen a few of my like friends playing in it, so
Yeah, I got to check that out.
yeah.
Oh yeah, some of the not retired pros, but pros that are in challengers that you would think should be in like the main league. They spend a lot more time streaming. Guys like Methods and Zuma, I guess, is officially retired, but a lot of guys like them, they'll go in and watch the college league and like commentate it and cast it. And it's a blast to watch because they, the level of play isn't quite there where it is in the pro league, but they make a story out of it. Man, it's hilarious. I highly recommend checking those out when they do it because
Yeah.
it's a blast. I think the college leagues in general, they're doing well. They're getting up there. I think Rocket League is one of those games that I think is set up to do the best in college. I think that's the best or most prominent collegiate scene right now. And Epic Games and Psyonix have done a good job supporting that. I think it's going to be cool. Flash forward 5-10 years, whatever it is, you've got a local team that you can come check out. Maybe if football season's over, you're winter, not much of a basketball guy, you can watch your local high school or your where you went to high school. Maybe they got a team. It's going to be super cool to see us getting towards that because that's definitely a good point. It is difficult to make it to the top right now because there's not a set structure to go through. Like with Fortnite, you could come out of nowhere and be the best player in the game.
Yep.
But if it's like a trio season and you need to find teammates, you kind of stuck with what you can find. There's not a set structure where you can go and find specific people. And I think working through the schools, you can become the best player in your school, maybe best player in the state, work your way up that way. I think it's definitely going to help a lot of people, give them the tools they need to get up there.
Yeah, kind of going off that, like we've been talking about this week in and week out, but like, so do you think there's ever going to be like one big like esports league? Because we kind of are talking about it with like in schooling and stuff like that. Do you think like there's going to be like a main structure for like Fortnite, main structure for like COD, and so on and so on? You know what I mean?
Um, I think for Fortnite, it should be dependent on what the structure they want to do. If it's either trios or squads, it depends, and like what teams you want to invite. I think it definitely down the line it's something they should look into because they definitely consistent on doing trios
Hmm.
more often than anything. So I think if they would want to do a league, they should do a structure for that because it'd be really dope. And they pull a lot of views like on a
Oh
regular
yeah.
basis whenever Fortnite streams.
Hmm.
It's pretty good amount to be honest compared to other like esports scenes I've
Yeah.
seen. So if they wanted to do it, they should. It'd be like a great incentive for everybody.
Hmm. And then they could have like plans to like get in like to the next. I don't know. They could figure a way to get in like new teams and stuff like that. It would be dope to see. But kind of going off that. So obviously we talked about this before. Centric instant hit blew up, and so what do you think? So a lot of people are trying to start orgs. What do you think separates Centric from an org that's just starting out?
Well, we got a lot of structure is definitely something you just mentioned with structure. We have everything in place for a lot of organizations to look at. Like we have from top to bottom, we got our management, we got our players, we got our creators, we got our graphic designers. It takes a lot. It takes a whole team to
Hmm.
be a really good organization. It takes a lot of time, a lot of manpower, and just having everybody on point as well. You
Hmm.
could have a bunch of people in a brand, but if they not all connected with one another and they all not together, knowing what's the one goal y'all all got in mind to build a good organization, then it's never gonna work.
Right.
And if you have that good structure without that organization, I think that's something that you could really build off. I think that's something you need to look at with every organization, the
Yeah.
structure of it.
For sure. No, that's a good point. So as we continue through this, and you just mentioned esports and structure and stuff like that. So like when you first started in the scene, what's one common myth, or just in general, about esports that you think is like it's like annoying to hear that you're like, oh, this is not true. Like people are like, you can't make a living in esports, stuff like that. Like, what's one thing that still like bothers you that you want to just like debunk at this stage in esports? You know.
I'm like, as far as like a person, like somebody walk up to me and gave me like a opinion on like trying to do gaming type thing or like that.
Just in general about esports, like someone that like they find out you're like the founder of an esports org, and they're like they give you like a little side eye or something like that, something you want to like
Oh
just
yeah,
like
I know what you
disprove.
mean.
You know what I mean?
Yes. High school, I think a counselor, I forgot her name. She said you cannot make it in gaming is not a real thing. I do remember that now. I actually stuck by that to this day. And and I was looking at her like I was like, ain't no way you think that. Like, come on. And so many and my friends was looking at me like, come on, she crazy. And I remember that to this day because I was actually like actually bothered me. It irritated me because like esports is such a good scene.
Hmm.
It does have its knocks once in a while with certain things
Yeah.
with players and stuff. But overall, like you really can make it if you really. It just takes a lot of work, and
Hmm.
it's really something that we still learning to this day. So many new things are getting implemented where you can become like an actual job and stuff. So like
Yeah.
regardless of anything, like you should never like speak on something you don't know about that often, like about esports. I think you should do research before you speak on something always.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's something that's what bothered me. And that was
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm I'm 22 now. So like
Yeah.
if I still remember it from there, then you know it's a problem.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I know.
yeah, that's
No, yeah, I was just gonna say esports has definitely grown in that 4 to 5 years too. So like, hopefully she understands it now, but I don't know, probably not.
yeah. I mean,
Who knows?
Centric Centric gonna be there.
Yeah,
So I
that's all
mean,
she needs to know. Um,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Should find her Twitter or something. Hit her up. See what's
just add
going
her.
on.
Just throw some shade on
Oh
Twitter.
man, no, I'm right there with you. I've had plenty of experiences like that. You know, working full-time jobs, just traditional accounting jobs, where I used to work and be like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I'm going out to Wisconsin to go to a video game event." And like, what? Like, so here, the video games, you know what they are? Yeah, people are good at them. They play them for money. Really? How much? I mean, it can be anywhere from 50 grand to like, $10 million all across the board. Really? And people watch that? Yes, people watch. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. And I come back and I show pictures of just a packed venue, or I went to one in Chicago at the old Bulls Stadium and it was packed to the brim. And they're like, what? And it's, they don't realize until they see it that people actually do that, because it's not, an everyday thing. People don't talk about it like they do, with football or baseball, traditional sports right now. But I think once it gets there and all the kids, now that are loving esports grow up, go into the, traditional work life, it'll start becoming more mainstream. A casual conversation. You might see it more on ESPN or the traditional news sites, so it's not as foreign to some people, and it's not as much pushback on it. And I think just a matter of time. But I've right there with you. I've had plenty of those conversations. You can't make money doing that, and this, that, and the other
yeah, I
thing.
definitely had those conversations with so many people, and so many people don't understand. It's like it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
explain when you try to sit there and break it down to them. It's
Oh yeah.
like, man, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's like, all right, listen. So you got this, that, and the
Yup.
third, and they
Yup.
gonna look at you like, oh my, what's that? And then you
Yup.
gotta go in depth about that situation.
Hmm.
So I just try to be as easy as possible. Like, yeah, kids go to land and they compete for money,
Yep.
and then they're like, oh, okay, then that makes a little bit more sense. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually a bit easier to explain than the whole like live streaming thing. With that,
yeah.
it's like,
Oh
do you know
yeah.
what Twitch is? If you know what Twitch is, we can get this taken care of in 10 minutes. But if you don't, we need at least 2 hours here, because it's gonna be a lot. But yeah.
So
Ugh.
this kind of just popped in my head since you mentioned lands. So obviously you're in Philly. So like, did you go up to the World Cup when it was happening? Because me personally, I went to the World Cup, but were you able to get up there?
No, no, I didn't actually. I'm mad that I didn't. I wanted to so bad, but
Yeah.
now since we actually like official,
Hmm.
I'm
Yup.
going to. If they announce it, I'm going to it 100%.
They
Oh
need to
yeah,
have it.
dude.
I feel like if they have a second World Cup, or like whatever
It's gonna go
it,
crazy.
it would go crazy. Like if they had it in New York again or wherever, it would literally be insane.
It'd be
So
sold out
it would be
probably.
sold out. I mean, when
I
I
definitely.
sorry,
I'm
what were you saying?
going.
Yeah,
I
you
was about to
gotta
say I'm
go
going. I'm going. It's not even a
wherever it's
question.
at. Wherever it's
Wherever
at,
it's
we're going.
at, I'm going.
Because when I was there, oh my god, I've never seen people cheer. Because this was the time when people had the bubbles were in the game, like the little. I
Oh
don't, yeah, you know what
yeah.
I'm talking about, and that was like the meta. So you would like sit in the bubbles all game, and I've never seen people cheer so loud when people made it to the top 10. All this, it was so crazy. And then, dude, those final kills when those kids got those kills, and then they went nuts. I've never seen anything like it. It was just so
Yeah.
dope to see. I
Yeah.
couldn't
Everybody
imagine.
was there though. Like every like personality you could
Oh
think
yeah.
of was in the building. Like at
Hmm.
that event.
It was so
It was
dope.
crazy though. I hope they have another one, man. It was so fun.
It's gonna be even bigger than the first one, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, they would break Twitch records for our numbers, but
Oh,
Easily.
probably. I'd love
And
to see
even
it.
even in person, like I feel like, yeah, like you said, it would be sold out instantly. Like no doubt. Because people are just fiending to, like, look at sports right now in general. Like people are just ready to get back going. Like I went to the Sixers Hawks game 2, and I don't even want to talk about the series, but uh, game 2 it was crazy. Like it was just so dope to see like a full stadium, full everything. It was just so awesome. So like I don't even know like esports and that whole atmosphere itself it's just gonna be unreal to see. So I think people are itching to get back. So
Yeah, I know I am. I'm itching to see it in person.
right. So kind of keeping it moving. So what's one advice you'd want to give someone that's trying to pursue a similar career path that you took?
Oh, like going from competitive to like management.
Yeah, yeah. Some going from that to that, or like trying to just start up an org or something like that. Just one piece of advice that you would say that really
Um,
helped you out.
be patient. It took me years. It took me a long time. So I've always said just be patient and trust. I guess you could say trust the process,
Yeah,
as
there you
Embiid
go.
would say, or the Sixers.
Yeah,
I'm not a Sixers fan, but I do like that little quote they got.
there you
But
go.
yeah, trust the process. It takes time, man. Everything in life, what you really want, is going to take time. If you going to give 100% to anything, is always going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, you might see glimpses of success once in a while, but the best thing you could really do is like once you actually at that point where you see everything happen in front of you, and like that overwhelming joy of like just knowing you just did all this and like and helping people in the long haul is better than anything you could imagine. So for me, like it happened for me when Centric started, it was like seeing everybody like come together for Centric and stuff, and like seeing people wear the merch, like my friends, my family,
Hmm.
my uncle wear it around the house all the time. So
Hmm.
seeing them and stuff, and like seeing people at LAN and stuff. I actually went to LAN recently. I literally like had like 30 people supporting this. I went to like an
Nice.
amateur Call of Duty league, like an amateur Call of Duty tournament in like New Jersey, and I had a team that I put together to go there. I help fund the kids and stuff, and like it
There you
should be a
go.
video coming out with about that as well.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, it was like literally like a whole room was filled for just Centric, like literally like they was
That's
all
Hell
awesome.
behind
yeah.
them. It was crazy, one of the craziest things I've seen in a while.
Dude, we got to get to an event together, bro. I'll definitely go to a Call of Duty tournament. Cuz you said it's
Yeah,
in Jersey, like I would easily.
yeah.
That's where was it? Like
It was
what was the event?
it was
The
Helix
NJ round?
Esports. I don't know if y'all
Okay.
heard about
Helix. Yeah.
Helix Esports.
Mhm.
It's in like North. I forgot the name. It's like New Jersey, like North. Is it, I forgot it. I never forgot the name. Damn.
Yeah, let me
But
pull
it's
it up.
not far. It's like right outside of New York. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's the event I went to at that time. It was really fun. It
Yeah.
was fun to be back on there and just to see everybody and stuff. So
Yeah. No, I can't wait to get Lands back. I know I keep saying that, but it's just gonna be awesome. It's really
Then
gonna be awesome.
they've got a couple of them. There's one in North Bergen, New Jersey.
that's the one.
Yeah. Then
That's
there's
the
one in
one.
Foxborough and Freehold. So yeah, they've got a couple of them over in that tri-state area. But yeah, those Call of Duty events, man. I think that's once those are back in full swing. I think that's the safe to assume that esports is back in a couple of months. I said the same thing about Smash because those Smash events, you've got hundreds and sometimes thousands of people just playing, not even including the competitors, and they're right next to each other. And so I kind of feel like if those people can play, then we can get back to normal pretty soon here. And once Call of Duty events come back, that I can't wait. Call of Duty on LAN is one of my favorite things in all of
Yeah,
esports. There's
it
not much
is.
that can beat it. You know,
Definitely a trash talking too with the
Yeah.
oh
fans and
yeah,
like
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
nothing beats that, man. I tell you that right there. The passion that people be putting on the amateur
yep,
kids and stuff
yep.
is
Mhm.
bar none. Say
They
that.
yeah, they really get after. There was that video going around a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago at this point. I'm losing track of time, but the land down in Texas, the guy
Oh,
got up and went around and started getting in the guy's face and everything. I missed that.
it
I
was
missed
funny
that a
that you
lot.
said it. That kid, his name is Cheeto. He was at we played him at the
Oh, you
land.
did?
Yeah, we won. We smoked him, but
There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
I seen. I was funny that it was funny that I seen him. I remember. As soon as I seen him, I was like, bro, he the kid that ran around Texas and stuff and
Oh
screaming.
yeah.
I'll do
He
that.
was, man, he was crazy, man. That was funny. I mean, when that was the first land back though, in like
Yeah.
a year, it's like I expect kids to go that crazy though, like that
They
road.
got a
They
lot of fans.
really,
Dude, that had to been some built
Oh yeah.
up beef right there. Like, there's
yeah,
no
no,
way.
it
There's
was
no
just
way.
yeah, no, I heard it was a little bit animosity
Yeah.
between a few of them, but that
Okay.
was like that was crazy. Like watching the whole land and stuff, that was crazy. Like I don't
Hmm.
know, like that type of situation was crazy.
It's just good to be back, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that definitely adds on, as esports progresses too. I think it's only a matter of time until everybody's got at least one sort of esports center in their state that's not too far. 'Cause, that's an issue that I've experienced just living in West Michigan. It's like, okay, we got like one event in Chicago a year, and that's about it. We might have one in Detroit every couple of years, but outside of that, I'm driving essentially to the East Coast or down south or out west if I want to go to a decent event. It'll be really, really nice when there's centers like that Helix Center just all over the state. If you want to go watch a weekly, there's a weekly tournament every single week. You can go hang out there, have some drinks, hang out with friends, and then we got monthlies, and past that you got nationals, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's definitely a key to being able to get involved, because that's something I don't think a lot of people really realize. Like, esports is sick. I love the online section of it, but there's something that just hits different when you make it to LAN and you're in person.
Yeah.
It kind of clicks, and it's like, oh, this is real. This is what's going on. These aren't just Twitter profiles anymore. If this guy wants beef, we can throw hands. There's that actual pressure in there, and you can't just spew off your mouth with whatever you want to say and not worried about getting hit. I think it's, once we get back there and everybody's in person, and once we, a couple of years down the line, I think esports is just going to skyrocket after that. It's going to be kind of hard to convince kids to go play traditional sports when you can play video games with your friends and make a career out of that or have a blast doing that. I played football for 10 years, but if there was a Call of Duty season in the fall, that would have been a conflict for me. I don't know what I would have done. Would have been a decision, that's for sure. I think it's gonna
Was you
it's a lot coming down.
Did you play D1 or for football? Like, how long did you play?
No, so I started in like 3rd grade when everybody else started. I went through high school. I had a couple offers for D3, but the schools that I was talking to, they were in like the middle of nowhere, and they were like those liberal arts colleges where I would have had to pay like twice as much. And it's like, I love football, but not quite enough to pay an extra 20 grand a year to play it. I think Jack's got much more experience than I do when it comes to that.
Yeah. I played D2 at you definitely know. I went to Westchester.
Oh yeah, I definitely know Westchester.
Yeah. That's where I played football there. We're a D2 school, but like got a ring, so that's all that matters.
Sir.
Got that
you got a state ring.
Yeah, the state ring. We won the conference my senior year, so it was good.
What position did you play?
I played center and guard.
Oh damn, that's
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Definitely, I was in the trenches, literally getting hit in the mouth every day.
Oh
so,
yeah,
it was all right.
Gator rolls, knee twist, all across the board.
Yeah, people. For sure. Yeah.
Were you much of a sports guy growing up?
Well, me personally?
Yeah.
I was a I love basketball. I was a Kobe fan. I was a huge Kobe fan.
Okay.
So I was a huge Lakers fan.
Mm-hmm.
I always watched every Laker game when I was younger. So yeah, football, basketball, soccer. I actually like soccer. I only watch soccer when it's like, what is it, USA play? Yeah, World Cup. That's the only time. But it's really interesting with the World Cup and stuff. That's about it. That's the only sports. Baseball a little bit too. But that's about it. I watch sports a lot especially basketball. That's my favorite right there. So.
Right.
And I played, but I wasn't good. So.
Well, so something to think about now that you're kind of running Centric and you've got a bunch of great players under you. How does it feel knowing that like guys that there's little kids out there that are looking up to your players maybe in the same way that you looked up to Kobe and the professional NBA players? How does it feel being able to be involved in a team where you've got kids out there that are looking up to your players, wanting to be like them, watching the streams, rooting them on, all that jazz? Did you ever think you'd be on the other side of the table?
No, I never in a million, never in a million years did I think about it like that. Actually, now that you said it that way, but yeah, it's definitely a lot of kids that look up to the players. Some kids that look up to me, which I'm surprised myself. But yeah, I never thought, and like, thinking about it now, back in like high school, I never thought like I had kids that look up to me and that cheer that for Centric and for the players and everything. It's crazy, man. Especially coming from Philadelphia, you really don't. It's a really tough spot to make it out of, so crazy.
I mean, Centric's got that crazy following. So like I always say this all the time. Like every time we send out a tweet, you get people saying like Nody. Like I think that's the coolest thing still. Like I think it's so cool that like people like care that much that you're tweeting stuff out, like you're like posting news and stuff about like something that you made, and people are like on top of it. So I still think that's like one of the coolest
I got
things.
I got like a few noties.
Every
time I tweet something, they always noti.
Yep.
They be right on point. It don't matter
right on point.
Oh yeah.
Right
what day it is, they always there for it, man. It's
right. It's just crazy. Like people like once they adapt like that fan base to like Centric, like they're always gonna be there too, and that's like the coolest part about it, So.
Yeah, I always said like win, lose or draw, like as long as I'm able to change a few kids' lives in the process, that's what matters the most to me. Seeing kids happy and seeing kids that enjoy being like feeling like they're a part of Centric and rooting us on. That means more to me to anything in the world, to be
Right.
honest. So I appreciate everybody that do support and that like Centric Gaming a lot. So
Yeah. It kind of going off that, since we're talking about like the fans of Centric and stuff like that. So how does one join Centric as like a creator or as like a pro player or something like that? What do you guys look into?
um, for me and for the organization, I know we look into like what your social media is like what's things you tweet. We take a lot of consideration in tweets because I know a
Hmm.
lot of kids that's younger, especially in Fortnite, they be tweeting
Oh
some
yeah, it's crazy stuff.
crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. So like a lot of that and your social media following, how consistent you are, what's your goals going forward if you join Centric, like what you gonna do afterwards? Are you gonna still like be 100%? Because I know some people join orgs and they don't really, they be like slacking off, but I don't want that. I want somebody that's gonna be
Hmm.
grinding 24/7. As much as I'm trying to put the work in, I need you to put the work in. So
Yep.
it gotta be a balance of both.
There you go. What about like content creators? What do you look for in like someone that makes content for YouTube, Twitch, whatever it may be?
I look at Well, it's interesting though, because there's a lot of content creators I watch that got a crazy good personalities, but the viewership may not match that. I look into like it, like how I was about to pronounce the word wrong, charismatic that you are on stream, and like how interactive you are with people
Hmm.
on there. So that's one thing I really, really look at a lot is that, like specifically, like how you interact with people, what you do on and off stream, and stuff of that nature. If you like, there's a few people that I know that like might be the funniest people I watch, but they may not get the viewers, but they
Hmm.
got a potential to become that next guy or like
Right.
become that next big creator and stuff. So that's something I really look into.
Because I mean, you just never know. Like, I mean, that's something we look into at CarterPulse as well. Like, we've signed a couple people. Like, they might not have the biggest following, but if they're doing something completely different than anything we've seen, like, we're definitely gonna sign them. And something you even said, like, if they're just very interactive and enthusiastic and whatever, they're really happy about streaming and something like that. And the viewership may not be there, but like if they're consistent with it, we say this with everything, if you stay consistent with it, it's gonna help you out. Like look at all these big streamers before they caught their break. Like Nick Merckx was probably streaming for like 10 years, playing all these different types of games. He was
Yeah.
traveling around doing all this and that, and then he eventually like took off. Like I mean, I just used Nick Merckx because he was the first one that came to mind. But like, there's so many guys that have that similar story. If you just stay on that grind, it's gonna happen. And I think people get discouraged too easily. So that's one thing I would say. Just stay on that grind.
No, I definitely agree 100%. When you said that, like Ninja popped in my mind a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly.
He was grinding from Halo to all the way
Mm-hmm.
to Fortnite. So like, you can't really take nothing away from him, man. He really put that work in
He
for real.
definitely
Like
put that work in.
so from competitive and everything, he streamed every day basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy how consistent you have to be to make it. So
Yeah, you definitely got to stay on top of it. And like, kind of going off that. So this is gonna take a whole 180 on what we're talking about. Esports into. I gotta ask you about crypto. I gotta ask like, do you? And we also have to say no financial advice here. You gotta say that. But do you get involved with crypto? Do you know much about it or
yeah,
anything like
I
that?
know a pretty good amount. I invested a little bit in a few coins, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a financial advisor either. I don't
No,
want to
yeah,
say
you
sit
can't.
here a lot of people are none, but yeah, I know a little bit about it, yeah, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little interested in it. I invest my money wisely into certain things, but yeah, I put a little bit of money in it. So
Mm-hmm. No, the only reason I asked that is because you brought up Ninja, and Ninja was one of the first people back in like 2016 or something like that who was accepting crypto as like a donation. So like I just thought that was crazy. Like to
really, I
even
did not
yeah,
know that.
yeah, he was accepting crypto. So like I don't even know what that man's wallet looks like for crypto, but it's probably looking real nice because if he was accepting donations, someone little Timmy probably had like a little, oh I got half a Bitcoin, let me send it to Ninja, something like that. So
Uh,
like I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. That's crazy. I didn't even know streamers could do that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how it works like specifically, but I know he was accepting Bitcoin as a form of donation at one point. Probably still is. But
That's crazy.
hmm so this is similar topic. I gotta ask. So myself, I'm into sports cards, and I see the Jordan poster behind you. Are you involved with any sports cards? You dabble in that at
Oh no,
all?
that was that's Moses
Oh, is
Malone.
it
But I got it
Moses?
from a Sixers game, the last
Okay.
Sixers
I was
game.
gonna say I saw the red, so I thought it was
Yeah, no,
Jordan.
no, it's just taped up there. No, I was from it was Kobe last game in Philly I went to.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us a poster of Moses
Oh,
Malone.
okay.
Yeah, so I just hung it up. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not into sports cards, but I do want like I do like cards like them Call of Duty cards. The kid, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot his name. He makes like Call of
Nice.
Duty cards. Them
Oh, I
Jones
know what you're
fire.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they
What,
fire. I like them. I like
shit,
them a
what was
lot.
his
Mm-hmm.
name?
I hope. I mean,
It's like Lion or something. I feel like
Yeah,
it.
it's Lion something. Oh, he
I
must have
hope.
changed
I
it. I'm
hope
not
one
seeing
day
it.
that they're able to create like how sick would it be to have like a specific like you're opening a random pack of like esports and then like you pull like a Kyree card like founder of Centric. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah,
that. Like
no, that'd be
it'd be
fire.
so cool one day to like just get something like that rolling. I know we've definitely thought about it, but it's just like logistically kind of tough to do just because like I don't know. Right now, like with the NFL, it's so structured. Like they're all under one bubble. But like
Yeah,
with
they are.
esports, it's just like it's too like sporadic. You know what I mean? Like Fortnite would never agree to get onto the card, and then all these games, and then you got the orgs, and then the orgs would have to. It would just get really complicated. So I don't know if it'll happen for a little bit, but it would be cool to see.
It's fire though. It's just like with the NFT thing. It's kind of like
Hmm.
a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
that. But I know so many people are on that way right now. So
Oh yeah.
that's a
That's
long
crazy.
topic.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a topic for a different day, but like
Different. Yeah.
it's crazy how this is all going. Connor,
No, it is.
you got any
No, I
questions?
mean, just like as we're wrapping up here with Centric, like what should people be keeping an eye out for moving forward? Is there anything big you guys got coming up or events to look out
So
for?
we recently signed a partnership with a tournament website. So we hosted our first tournament recently, and we going every month we're gonna be hosting tournaments on the website. So
Nice.
anybody that wants to play, they could play.
Nice.
Announcement should come soon. And so it's really dope to have like a tournament website so we could be able to host tournaments for kids that's trying to come up and trying
Yeah.
to, become that next step into their career. So,
Hmm.
and it's free entry. So,
There you go.
Huge. Huge.
It's definitely big.
yeah,
No reason
yeah,
not to. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
Be
saying. Yeah.
there.
So one question we like to wrap it up with is so what does esports mean to you? What makes you wake up and want to do this as your career every day?
It's the only thing I find passion for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of things you could do in life. Like, don't let me not lie. You
Yeah.
could do things in life for money, certain things you want to do, certain things
Mm-hmm.
you want to buy. But for me, it's not about the money. Like, at the end of the day, I don't need money from me. I like if I'm just able to do my job for like players and help them and
Yeah.
build a team and structure and all that. That's what matters the most to me. Money does not matter. I don't care about anything. It's the passion, the love. I know I could wake up every day now, like wow, I really got a team right here that everybody support. Like, it's only a selected few people could be like that. Like, it's like some people that could actually sit here and wake up and be like, I do what I love and like I'm happy with doing it and like that's what I'm saying. Like it's only a selective few. So like I'm really happy and passionate about it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes me wake up every day and
Just keep going
just keep
after it.
going,
Yeah.
keep going. Yeah.
No, that's awesome to hear. So we'll wrap it up with if there's any questions from the chat. If not, then we'll wrap it up here. But once again, man, it was great talking to you. I know we've been CarterPulse has been talking with you for a while, so it's just great to finally. I mean, I know you talk with Dan a lot, probably. So like,
Yeah, we
it's great
do.
to finally like diversify that face to CarterPulse. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I like Carter Post, a great agency. I appreciate everything y'all do for y'all done for me and everybody else. And gaming. Y'all really breaking the ice for a lot of people that's trying to come into gaming and helping kids. Really know what they doing before they step into like an organization and knowing what they
hmm
signing on to, which a lot of kids do need help with till this day. So I'm
yeah.
happy that y'all are part of this. So
Yeah, I'll give you a quick little thing as see if anyone types in chat. But like, the reason we started this was back in the when Tifu was with FaZe and all that. Like, I recognized that, and then I went to Dan and Kev, who were lawyers, and it's kind of how it went from there. Just a brief little synopsis about Carter Pulse, but that's a long story short right there. But yeah,
damn, that's crazy.
people definitely need it. It's definitely needed in esports, and I'm glad we could help you, and I'm glad you're helping kids around the world get platform. So
Yeah, I
it's
try
really
my
dope to
best,
see.
man.
It's really dope. So all right, it's cool. No questions from chat. So we'll wrap it up there. Once again, we appreciate Kyree coming on And
Sure.
coming on the Beat of Esports, this was episode 6. So thank you again, and we'll talk to everyone later. See ya.
All right, see you. Thank you,
Yep.
bro.